New way to explore the outdoors in Queens. A once bustling railroad track could be turned into a park similar to Manhattan's High Line.
But as CBS 2's Elijah Westbrook reports, some neighbors think the space should be used for something else.
It may not seem like much for now. This rusted railroad bridge standing over Yellowstone Boulevard in Rego Park, Queens is about to get a makeover. But it's not just this bridge. The entire former 3.5-mile stretch of the Rockaway Beach Branch rail line, once owned by the Long Island Railroad more than 50 years ago, turning into this.
Phase 1 will convert abandoned railroad tracks, which have been used as a dumping ground or worse, into a 5-acre linear park.
A space for people to walk, run, bike, and explore the great outdoors, connecting folks to schools, businesses, and 10 bus lines, according to the city.
This project will be managed by both Parks and EDC. We'll have our green space experts as well as our contracting experts together to work on it to make sure that it's delivered, hopefully under budget and be ahead of schedule.
The city recently announced Phase 1 of the space is getting a $35 million transformation, part of an initiative called Queensway. Similarities can be seen in downtown Manhattan, known as the High Line. Phase 1 of the project will consist of nearly a mile of trail space and parkland starting in Forest Hills.
It's a good idea to touch it up a bit and make a better use of out of the space rather than having it just decaying back there.
And while there's a great deal of support to move ahead with this project, there are some folks who I spoke to in this Forest Hills neighborhood who say they would like to see it get converted, in fact, into a subway line connecting neighborhoods here in Queens to ones in Brooklyn.
It would be very beneficial to have a better means of getting to Brooklyn. That's a really inconvenient travel period right now. If there were means of making that a more reasonable connection, that should be analyzed as well.
Well, the idea is not totally out of the picture. There's still ongoing talks of the space turning into the Interborough Express, or Queenslink, a subway line originating from this area of the borough that would terminate in southern Brooklyn. The mayor hasn't completely scrapped the idea, but drew a line about what he feels is more vital.
We've learned during COVID-19 how important it is to have good quality open space, and it can't be just in one part of the city.
So, for now, construction on the project could start as early as next year. Environmental assessment studies will continue on the Interborough Express, and who knows, both a trail and subway line could be part of the plan. What that would look like is unknown. We'll keep you posted. In Forest Hills, Queens, Elijah Westbrook, CBS 2 News.